Spousal maintenance has come through this week. What is it all about?
Spousal maintenance, in basic terms, is just a payment from one spouse to another after they've separated. The aim of spousal maintenance is to attempt to rectify the financial imbalance between the parties until you can resolve property settlement and financial matters between them on a final basis.
Okay. So does this issue need to go to court at all?
Not necessarily. It is possible to agree informal arrangements for payment of spousal maintenance whilst you are maybe agreeing other property settlement or financial matters by consent. But you've got to keep in mind, though, that without it being dealt with by the court, it isn't enforceable. So if you reach agreement and the payments stop, then you may need to go back to the court to seek assistance anyway.
Okay, so in court, how does it decide whether it should be paid and how much?
There's actually a two-limb test that the court look at when they look at spousal maintenance, Matt. Firstly, they look at whether there is a need for one party to receive spousal maintenance. And then secondly, they need to look at whether the other party has the capacity to pay. When we look at need, we've got to be able to establish on the part of that particular person whether there's a shortfall in their weekly income versus their weekly expenses. And if you flip it around the other way, when we look at capacity to pay, it's necessary to establish that there is a surplus of income after they've paid their weekly expenses out of their disposable income. So when we look at weekly income, the court do actually disregard any entitlement to pensions or to allowances or benefits or things like that from the government. So it means that income really means income earned through employment, rent from investment properties, dividends from shares and those sorts of sources. When we look at expenses, it's important to have evidence of expenses that are met on a weekly basis. And we often ask our clients to be quite diligent about keeping receipts for payment of groceries, petrol, and really looking at an estimate on a weekly basis of some other costs that come up a little less regularly, such as electricity, gas, medical expenses, gifts for family. It is quite an extensive list, and it's something that can be explored in more detail as part of legal advice. Often we can find with clients, particularly if there is a need, if it's not possible to show that the other party has a capacity to pay, then that obviously can be a mismatch. And it's important to keep in mind that the court won't make an order unless it can really see that both of those sides of the argument have been satisfied.
Now, Erryn, is spousal maintenance the same as child support?
No, Matt. Spousal maintenance is the support of a spouse. It's not the support of a child. The Child Support Agency already has a complex formula for calculating child support that's payable between parents. Spousal maintenance is meant to be payment to support the financial needs of that spouse and not of the child.
Now, do we have to pay forever?
Look, in most cases, not. In rare circumstances, the court do actually have the discretion to make an order for ongoing spousal maintenance. But look, in many cases, it's a short-term arrangement whilst property settlement terms are being agreed. It's also possible to finalise spousal maintenance through a lump sum payment at property settlement or even advance of property settlement, which, if you've got the right legal advice, should be included in any final order to make sure that is definitely the end of a spousal maintenance argument.
And Erryn, will the court consider the conduct of the parties or reason that they separated when a request for spousal maintenance is made?
Look, in most cases, and in fact almost all of cases, no, Matt. Australian legislation doesn't provide for any penalty or consequence if parties separate due to, for example, one party having an affair or behaving in a way that we would think would be appropriate in social circumstances, but under legislation, no.
Now, if people want more information, obviously want your advice from Dimond Family Lawyers, want to expand on what we've been talking about this week on Fifo Life, where can they go?
Our website is found at www.dfl.com.au, and there's quite a lot of information on there which might be helpful. We also offer a 15-minute free telephone consultation to new clients, as well as a 1-hour fixed fee initial consultation face-to-face or over the phone prior to any need to come on as a client.